ओके गाइस, मैं आज के कोल्ड ओपन में गर्मा गर्म पहले कुछ बेचने वाला हूँ और वो है वो है मेरे टिकट्स. आई एम वेरी सॉरी. सो दिस फैम स्पेशली इन यूरोप. मैं यूरोप आ रहा हूँ अपना शो लेके. आई एम टूरिंग यूरोप ऑल ऑफ नवंबर. I've been putting the links as a print comment, so please buy tickets there. Germany हो रहा है, France हो रहा है, Netherlands हो रहा है, UK हो रहा है, Ireland हो रहा है और स्कैंडिनेविया हो रहा है. तो प्लीज जाओ, टिकट खरीदो और आओ, वरना मुझे मेरे जेब से स्टोर के खर्चा निकालना पड़ेगा.
By the way, Neville and I are also going to two exotic places. On 13th October, we are in Pune. And after that, from 20th to about 23rd, we are in Kurla.
Oh, wow. So that's just right next to Scandinavia.
Exactly. Just
wait, I don't know about the 23rd to 23rd. It's confirmed. What are we doing?
Yes,
Kurla?
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Guys, बेचने के पहले कंफर्म तो करो. कैसे टिकट बेच रहे पब्लिक नहीं उधर. अरे नेविल और कौतुक का शो है ना.
लेकिन but there is also a chance. I just want to say I'm floating something. There is a chance in November, in the second week, there's a chance that Kautuk and I could be doing a show in one city in the northernmost country of North America.
Good. But before they do that,
secret.
Next weekend is our 150th episode. Guys, what up?
Yeah.
Tali. So, major announcement of that, we are going to do a 150th episode special live stream, which is going to happen at night on Tuesday, which I think is the 18th of October. So, बहुत भंकस होने वाला है, बहुत टाइम पास करने वाले. तो प्लीज आओ और हमारे साथ भंकस और टाइम पास करो. And let's celebrate 150 episodes.
Also, भंकस और टाइम पास के साथ होगा एक announcement. तो defo come for that.
But mainly मेरे यूरोप शोज के टिकट खरीदो. Okay, चलो. Let's begin. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Internet Set. So, a show we did animation with facts and trivia about the stories, and we talk about them. And I can't believe we've been talking about them for 149 episodes.
Oh my god!
Wow, yeah. Majedar.
By the way, can I just tell you technically, I know that this is technically the 150th episode because you guys remember that one podcast that I deleted by mistake.
Yeah, and then technically this is 155th episode because there are a few topics we did as a live show which we never put.
out. That's also true.
Okay, guys, but that still makes the next week's episode special because numbering में 150 episode है, तो please आओ और मजे करेंगे. Anyway, but talking about what's happening in the latest news, and I'm sure all of you have seen it, and that is the trailer of this new movie called Adipurush. काफी excitement और buzz था.
I am not normally an allergic person, but this allergic reaction has happened to that.
Baba saw the trailer and he now has the sniffles.
Oh,
so क्या भारी special effects है bro. कि तू ऐसे YouTube पे ट्रेलर देखेगा और तेरे को छींका है. इधर गए 500 करोड़. लेकिन कैसा लगा ट्रेलर?
Man, it started so well with two shots, and then the third shot immediately after that you're like, what is happening?
Even the second shot, I know why you're saying the second shot is good, because in comparison to the rest of the trailer, the second shot is good.
Yeah, and
only the first shot was great, and then you're like,
dude, no, progressively, because by the way, there was a lot of hype for this movie, like a lot.
I was genuinely excited. Firstly, adaptation of Ramayana, so that's something you anyway want to watch and are excited about because बचपन से देखा है, and now any sort of different take on it visually also, we are all game for it, right? So
correct.
That excitement is there. It's a great timeless classic. So
adaptation of Ramayana with a budget like fitting it, like meaning for the kind of stuff you need to show in it, you need 500 crores, right? So
I think more because 500 crore में ये हुआ है.
Clearly, अब तो ज़्यादा. But at the time, and probably still is most amount of money spent on a movie ever. So 500 crores.
Okay, guys. So now from being personally invested in Brahmastra, we are going to be personally invested in the finances of Adipurush also.
No, and the other thing was that you had Prabhas as the main lead, and Prabhas pan India star, right? Bahubali himself, right? So the hype was all time high. Like this is going to be the film.
Correct.
Right? And the teaser, my God, dude, it's crazy.
It's not the film. Let's just say that.
No,
Yeah.
so what is this like? You remember one many years back when before the original like this Deadpool came out, when Ryan Reynolds was playing Deadpool for the first time in a Wolverine movie, X-Men Origins, if I'm not mistaken. ठीक है, उसमें उनका एक end का scene है where Wolverine and Deadpool, that old look of Deadpool with the sealed mouth, they're fighting on this whatever that MCU decides should be there, right? उधर आग वाग आ रहा है. मैंने ये मूवी पायरेट करके देखा था, ठीक है, रिलीज होने के पहले, बिकॉज वो टाइम पे कोई एडिटर ने लीक कर दिया था. तो देयर वर पार्ट्स इन द मूवी व्हिच वर लाइक थोड़ा एडिटेड है, और फिर एक इसमें सर ने उसके हाथ में कुछ ग्रीन कलर का है, और फिर रायन रेनॉल्ड्स वो जब भी झगड़ रही है, पूरा फाइट सीक्वेंस हो रहा है, पूरा नकली है ब्रो पीछे. एज इन यू नो दैट लिटरली इसके ऊपर और 800 सिटिंग्स करने थे, सब लगने वाला था, और फिर जाके जो भी वोल्केनो या whatever it finally became, that was going to happen. Bro, they had released it. So I feel that this render of Adipurush is that. I think somebody has leaked it.
No, exactly. And I think like...
Because that's what Om Raut is saying. He's like, the director Om Raut is saying that this movie is made for a big screen spectacle. But I'm like, I don't want to be disappointed on the big screen also seeing this. That's really bad.
No, so here's the interesting thing, right? Like, and again, like this is it's very interesting that you brought up Brahmastra, because when the first trailer of Brahmastra also came, like the VFX didn't look very good. Like it looked all right. I mean, this looks slightly less than that, but that was also like, okay, it didn't get anyone really hyped. In fact, people were like, oh my God, is this what is going to be?
But right? They also don't have 10 years like Brahmastra.
No, so the point I'm making is that we've not.
Yes, वो verify करना पड़ेगा. ये उन्होंने कब से पहला दिया कि 10 साल से चल रहा है. मैं 10 साल से इस पे काम कर रहा हूँ. हाँ ठीक है, 10 साल से VFX नहीं कर रहा है ना, लेकिन 10 साल में से 4 साल स्टोरी पे काम किया होगा, 2 साल एक्टिंग पे, 1.5 साल रेकी.
1.5 साल रेकी. So no, point is that the film has not come out, right? We don't know what the final film looks like. It might just look like superb, and like they'll fix everything or whatever, or it'll come together very well. We don't know that. What we're probably reacting to right now is just the fact that what we've seen from the teaser trailer, right? And that's the thing that you put out to sell the movie, right? It looks
because ये क्या टाइप का टीजर होगा कि ये देख, लेकिन थिएटर में अलग दिखेगी, तो फिर मत दिखा, तो फिर दिखाई मत. Like your then teaser should be one properly worked on VFX part, and you see like a small 15-second glimpse of Prabhas leke aise arrow mare, whatever. You know what I mean? That would also create more hype, I think. Because right now, anywhere they're just memes after memes. Like it's completely gone the other way for some reason.
And dude, like the crazy thing is that I've never seen a teaser trailer of a movie get the movie talked about so negatively, and it becoming like news debates have happened about this. News debates.
I mean, not surprised.
So like just the portrayal of Ravan, like the clothes that they've
somebody said Ravan should look Sri Lankan. He looks like he is Mughal.
Yeah, he looks. Dude,
तो रावण को देख के खिलजी की याद आ गई.
Dude, there were so many people talking about how Ravan has like a Gen Z haircut.
Yeah,
where there is a fade. And all his 10 heads also have a fade. So, can you imagine the you know, hairdresser of Ravan? Sir, एक का करना है कि 10?
नहीं बाकी सबको सिर्फ चंपी चाहिए, तो सिर्फ मेरा बाल काट. But like guys, before we started doing the podcast, three of us watched the trailer again, right? And like throughout the teaser, at every single point, you could immediately name the movie or the TV show that you had seen something similar from. When not Hanuman, the army of monkeys, when they're jumping, there's that one guy that jumps hard, he sits down, he goes, does like that. Like Hulk. Sorry. Proper Hulk. It literally looked like Hulk. ये आ रहे जो उड़ के what looked like White Walkers but flying, white flyers, exactly like that. वो dragon तो मेरे को funny लगा, because एक तो funny looking dragon है,
Yeah.
VFX गंदा उसके ऊपर सैफ seriously बैठ के रहा है.
No, but also the thing about the dragon, if you see, the dragon is moving without any like flapping
Not
or any.
flapping.
Yeah,
Just glides.
so it's not even a gliding dragon. What's happened is they've taken the background and they've just moved the dragon closer, right?
Yeah.
So it gives you the it's
illusion.
it's basically this is the dragon. Abhi wo aise ud ke tere paas aa raha hai, right? That's what they've done with Saif on it. But they to show that it's actual, the movement they've given it is this jaw thing, right? Where it goes और 2 ही बार करता वो इतना करता वो और it's that repetitive loop movement which is a gif, right?
Yeah.
So maybe it's got to do with what you're saying, but
In fact, like somebody said the VFX has been done by Ajay Devgan's VFX company, which by the way I found out is called NY VFX Wala.
It's not. So I just want to say this, by the way.
It's not done. I know it's not done by them. They put out a clarification saying, guys, this has not been done by us. That's when I found out that's not done. But the shocking part was that the name of the VFX company is NY VFX Wala.
VFX wala is funny.
It's NY New York.
Maybe New York, or it could be any VFX. Like ANY, like any.
No, it was just NY. Oh wait, it might be his kids' names. It might be his kid's name. Nisa and Yug. Nisa and Yug. I mean, Nisa and Yug.
Nisa and
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's what I think.
Navya Amit ji की granddaughter है भाई.
Sorry.
But
दोनों जो में आसपास रहते हैं.
VFX wala is great. It sounds like there's one cart from where you get the VFX.
चलो गर्मा गरम VFX तो जाएगी. Game of Thrones.
I'll tell you. There's a guy.
एक रेकड़ी में.
There's a guy who works in one of our post-production houses, and that I work with often.
And why is his name Neville?
No, his name is Animesh, and he does animation. I'm not lying. His name is Animesh, and he does animation.
Wow! Shout out to Animation.
No, that's not the name of his company or anything. It's just
it should be.
Yeah, it's just too funny to me. That's the
animation.
So they've not done it. So the VFX NY VFX will have not done it. So who?
I think Saif only has done it at home. अरे wow यार देखो ये देखो मैं Windows Movie Maker. Wow.
No,
it's crazy. There's one shot of Saif walking down this he's coming out of a castle or something, right?
Fuck, I thought you were going to say car. I was like,
sure, could be.
He's coming Adipurush because it's a car.
Hilarious. So he's coming out of one castle, right? And he's walking on this sort of bridge that looks like it's from Thor. And it's the exact bridge where the Bifrost comes up. Yeah. Like you can see so many. Dude, the funniest meme I saw was, where you have Saif when he's in that Ravan mode where he's got his 10 heads out, right? Someone had taken a screenshot of that and said Zandu bum. क्योंकि तेरे को जब हेडेक होता है तो वही विजुअल आता है. करेक्ट. मेरे को लेकिन लग रहा है कि असली VFX तो वो है जिससे ये पैसे बन रहे हैं, जिससे ये मूवीज बन रहे हैं. Bro, they are just throwing random numbers, 500 crore, 600 crore, 700 crore, and after the bar that Bahubali has set, right, and now Brahmastra, I think ये वाला कुछ करना पड़ेगा. वैसे भी हमारे हाथ में नहीं है तो करो जो करना है. But because I was looking and we were talking about this, I thought we should definitely talk about just animation in general and VFX, because not only have I seen Adipurush, trailer. Hello? Are you doing? Okay, yeah. I said not only did we see this trailer, but over the last 2 days, I have sat and binged on old school Bollywood, random cringe movies. मैं निकिता करण बैठ के देखते जा रहे. ठीक है?
तो किमी काट कर वैसा
नहीं यक क्या कौन सी बात कर रहा है. मैं लेट 90s अर्ली 2000 तो हम लोग ने देखा है फॉर द मिलियंथ टाइम जाने दुश्मन एक अनोखी कहानी. ठीक है? और 16 दिसंबर देखा है क्या? 16 दिसंबर दुल्हन की विदाई का वक्त हो चुका है. ब्रो, 2 आइकॉनिक मूवीज, दोनों में बहुत सारा VFX है. बट जानी
दिसंबर हॉरर नहीं है ना?
नहीं.
No, it's a thriller.
दुल्हन की विदाई is what you told me so.
हाँ, गुलशन ग्रोवर. Danny, Milind Soman. Yeah, Mani Shankar ने बनाई थी. But Jani Dushman, bro, did you not think that this was slightly better than Jani Dushman? The VFX.
Listen, like if your comparison is slightly better than Jani Dushman, you've already hit a very low point.
That's what I'm trying to say. That was 2001, bro.
Yeah.
But also, I'm trying to say is that like the fact that it was not. But does this look like this movie is ever going to become a cult film like Jani Dushman?
I think so.
Bro, Jani Dushman mein VFX was the side part.
The selling point. Yeah. Oh.
That wasn't the selling point.
It was the ensemble cast.
It was the ensemble cast and everybody being in college and Sonu Nigam just... Bro, मेरे को थोड़ा dreams आ रहे थे फिर रात को सोनू निगम के acting के. Although I've seen the movie a million times, but I love it, bro.
His acting was bad CGI.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So, I'm just feeling that over the years, the way it has progressed, these type of things you would see earlier. Now, VFX has gone to what level? Like, for example, Red Chillies, the kind of VFX that they've been doing, dude, they are actually Shah Rukh Khan in a way definitely pioneered like getting the right VFX in for a lot of the movies you see right now. A lot of them are done by Red Chillies VFX, and they are damn good.
So one very interesting thing happened after the Adipurush trailer came out. There's one full movement that started saying we want a sequel to Ravan.
नहीं ये ब्रह्मास्त्र से चालू हुआ है. So ब्रह्मास्त्र में उन्होंने शाहरुख को देखा, बोला अभी मेरे को शाहरुख का स्पिन ऑफ चाहिए. फिर बोला अरे शाहरुख को देखा ब्रह्मास्त्र में हो रहा है, बट रियल पायनियर वो शाहरुख 2010 में वो रावण किया था.
Anytime there's anything VFX, suddenly people are like, why not one more Ravan? But guys, we're misremembering that film.
you're seeing some एक दो CGI देखा था, but बाकी स्टोरी का क्या है सीन? वीडियो गेम ये वो उसमें वो कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ इलेक्ट्रिसिटी एक्सप्लेन कर रहा था, मालूम है कोई? कोई तो साइंटिस्ट है, रावण में एक्सप्लेन करेगा इलेक्ट्रिसिटी क्या है. Seriously, a room full of adults.
There's a new movie with Chiranjeevi Garu and
Godfather.
And the reason why I say Chiranjeevi Garu is because Salman has put out a video saying Chiranjeevi Garu, my man, or whatever. In the trailer or the teaser of Godfather, towards the end, there's a shot. And I can try and pause it. And the reason why Kautuk's laughing is because I've shown it to him. I'll try and pause it right after I tell you. There's a shot where Chiranjeevi and Salman are in a jeep and they break through a wall in one of those action scenes as they come out. Except that they are both photographs of Salman and Chiranjeevi that have been photoshopped onto the person who is sitting there. So it's just a picture. And I will now find it. So give me 2 minutes.
Thakur, there is clearly that...
They're wearing a mask? Oh, no. They're trying to show VFX, but like replace. Jaise wo camera video banata hai, face
they should have done. Yes. They should have done proper like face tracking and all of that, but they've not done that.
So basically, in that sequence, there are clearly 2 stuntmen who've driven that jeep through the wall or whatever it was. Okay, and they had to remove their faces, put Chiranjeevi and Salman. And they have said, you know what, that's too expensive, it takes too long, whatever it is, right? And
also, I think it's because Bhai didn't show up.
नहीं चिरंजीवी गारू के टाइम पे he'll show up. उधर मस्ती नहीं करे.
So basically, it's one photograph. It's damn funny. It looks so unnatural. Like it looks.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to share it now.
Creepy.
I'm going to share it, and I'm not going to share sound, so we can't worry about all of this. But see, this is first of all, see how badly this is done. Okay. But now, are you ready?
Why is he smiling? Why is he smiling?
But it's the same expression. There's no blink. There's no cheek movement. There's nothing.
But he's not. Why is he smiling?
It's not even close to what the expression should be.
Should be like, hey.
No, he's cool. He's like, मैं आ रहा हूँ bench. Like that's the.
वो भी नहीं है. It's not even the quintessential Bhai this. But now we are talking about Bhai and VFX. So one of the oldest love stories is Bhai and VFX abs. ठीक है, क्योंकि मैं थोड़ा research करके देख रहा था कि कौन से बॉलीवुड
वो-
मूवीज में
बहुत सारा
VFX हुआ है। और
ब्रह्मास्त्र-
मैंने जो एक 25 मूवी थे ना, उसमें 12 तो भाई की मूवी थे ब्रो।
तो ब्रह्मास्त्र
और
में
वो
भी
12
बहुत
भाई
सारा
की
एड्स
मूवीज
का
में से
वर्क
सब
है.
में एड, हाँ हाँ ऑफ कोर्स सब में डाल रहे हैं। प्रभास के भी एड्स है।
Bro, no,
ये
Prabhas, in this, he's got one plastic alloy on his body. It's so weird. It's shiny and it's
Kautuk,
odd.
stop doing this to yourself.
But it's odd.
It's not nice.
it looks so fake. It looks so
Yeah.
fake. उधर एक साइड पे बाकी जॉन अब्राहम 25 साल से एब्स मारते जा रहा है कि देखो मैं एक्टिंग नहीं करता तो क्या हुआ, आई कैन पोज। और सीधा
ठाकुर,
असली एब्स है मेरे पास।
ठाकुर, जॉन अब्राहम का VFX नेक के ऊपर होता है.
तो मैं देख रहा था भाई की कितने मूवीज में VFX वो, एक तो उसका एब्स है, ठीक है, फिर डी एजिंग, फिर a lot of the stunts that you've seen. Obviously, I know I'm not saying that Bhai should go ahead and actually do the stunts, right? But वो टाइगर जिंदा है देखा है या
हाँ,
But by the way,
one of the tiger जिसमें he's fighting a wolf
हाँ.
और wolves पूरा CGI, of course.
no,
मतलब
but that's fine. That's all right.
right. Then there's kick में एक सीक्वेंस है कि भाई ऐसे चलते हैं, चोरी वोरी करके आते हैं और फिर रेलवे ट्रैक क्रॉस करते हैं. Not to
और
take
वो-
another train from the other side.
No,
or
no,
anything,
I know.
just
This
to
is the
cross.
one where he comes on a cycle and he stops on the cycle and then he just leaves the cycle and walks past the
Yeah,
track
this
as
is
the
kick.
And
train goes.
as he goes, and the train goes from behind. So, वो भी
Dude,
एक
but there was one
VFX है.
recent ad. It was a banyan ad with Bhai in it, where his banyan has, because of one gust of wind, it has floated off his balcony. So he has jumped off the balcony and he's chasing through the city after his banyan. Okay.
Because he only has one. भाई के पास एक ही बनियान है. भाई आप 50,000 करोड़ रुपए जो आपके पास है.
So now he has gone. Okay, the banyan is floating in the air. He has climbed up one crane. Okay. And he has jumped off the crane to get his banyan.
हाँ.
Okay, they cut to shots of like people. Okay. And then Bhai lands in superhero landing wearing
बनियान.
Arey bro, but a lot
which
of
means
the
mid-air he has taken off his shirt, put the banyan.
Because what else are you going to do mid-air while free falling?
once you've already
But
gotten
change.
your banyan. But the other thing is, have you seen the like a lot of the thumbs up work used to have these epic like CG and stuff like that where Bhai is flying out of
Let's
a
reserve words
in a-
like epic and all.
No, they were epic stunts. So Bhai drives a jeep out of a plane.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And he's falling and he's thing and he does all those typical Bhai things, right? Like in the air, he's flying, his thing is coming down, his jeep is free falling, and he puts his hand out and he does this and then puts an indicator down.
Puts
And
an
then-
indicator.
Like he does this and then takes a right in the air and all. It's fucking great, dude.
भाई एयर ट्रैफिक कंट्रोल कर रहा है गाड़ी से. मैं राइट ले रहा हूँ.
So
प्लेन हैज टू स्वर्व. अबे भाई की गाड़ी आगे. भाई की गाड़ी
But-
हवे में क्यों है? अबे लेफ्ट मार चुपचाप.
but all said and done, Bhai is the only one who can pull it off. Like I'm just saying, like if I tell you there is an actor sitting in a jeep and he flies out of the car, he takes the jeep and flies it out of a plane, and as before he comes right, he puts his hand out and gives an indicator like this. Which actor is this? There is nobody else that you would think of.
I mean, I would put my money on everybody doing this.
Fair.
But only Bhai can pull it off. But I'll also challenge that and say that was already done by Saif Ali Khan in Race 2.
Oh.
प्लेन से गाड़ी में जब मारा था उसने.
But
No, dude. But like generally, do you remember like one of the early like weird CGI uses was also in मैं प्रेम की दीवानी हूँ.
Bro, I was
है ना?
you literally said it because I was telling Nikita हम लोग ये टॉपिक करें इसलिए make sure you talk about मैं प्रेम की दीवानी हूँ. And of course another timeless classic from early 2000 जिसमें उन लोग ने एक तो वो कुत्ता एक कुत्ता दिखाया जो भड़क जाता है और फिर वो कार्टून बन के आ जाता है.
अरे वो मास्क का कुत्ता है.
माइलो बनने की कोशिश कर रहा है. लेकिन वो भी मास्क जो 90s मिड 90s में बनी थी ना उसका भी 1000 गुना बेटर
Of course.
VFX था. तो इसमें वो और एक तोता है जो बात करते रहता है. Oh my God, that was painful because I'm literally sitting there in the theater. I didn't think as much that point, but now I'm thinking, imagine सूरज भर जाता is going to a VFX guy and trying to explain this thing to him. VFX wala makes this, gives it to Suraj Barjatia, who watches this and says, okay.
No,
Yeah.
watches it, gives changes, saying मेरे को तोता थोड़ा ये लग रहा है, थोड़ा
थोड़ा नहीं कर सकता सर, वो तोता है, वो क्यों करेगा, कराओ
तो नहीं, तोते की आंख में थोड़ा दर्द होना चाहिए, ये पॉइंट पे ऐसे सब. एंड दे लाइक ब्रो, तेरे फिल्म में तोता है जो रियल नहीं है और तेरे को दर्द ऑडियंस को हो जाएगा, टेंशन मत ले.
But to be fair to the Tota, that in spite of being a Tota who talks and randomly, Ritik is still overacted more than the Tota has. Auntie, badam ka doodh, auntie. Hey,
Oh my
badam
God,
ka doodh.
you know, it was such a weird random choice, because like, meaning that film has no need for any kind of CGI, because it's a straightforward family centered drama.
No, that's Barjatia stepping into the 2000s. They're like, kuch to karna padega, we have to keep up with the times.
Because Lord of the Rings has just come out, so I guess.
And
Sir, Return of the King Oscar जीती सर. अरे तो हम भी कुछ करेंगे. क्या आइडिया सर, तोता डालते हैं, बात करते हैं, तोता डालेंगे. अरे सर, लॉर्ड ऑफ द रिंग्स में झाड़ बात कर रहे हैं, तो हम यहाँ तोता क्यों नहीं बात कर सकते?
that dog from Hum Aapke Kaun was not available. So they were like, oh, we can't get Tuffy. Let's get Tota.
No, but that's the thing now. Like
Let's get Gruffy.
I feel like in our award shows also now, we'll have like categories like best animated character villain, best animated character popular choice,
Critics Award for Best Animated Actor.
Tota.
And that also has been won by Nawazuddin Siddiqui. सर लेकिन मैंने एनिमेशन किया ही नहीं. अरे क्रिटिक्स अवार्ड है, वैसे भी कोई नहीं देखा. But they've done animation in such random places. Remember when Padmavat came out, right? Yeah. Padmavat में animation है. तो मेरे को लगा कि कुछ ऐसे बैटल सीक्वेंस या कुछ होगा जिसमें बंसाली घोड़े दिखा रहा है, हाथी वाती सब आ रहे हैं. वो देखो पता है किसमें हुआ था? Where they've shown a scene with Rupika dancing, but her midriff is seen because she's wearing some whatever choli chanya choli type. So the midriff is seen, and some people are taking offense to that. So instead of going, क्योंकि बंसाली को वो गाना शूट करने के लिए तो 45 दिन लगे, ठीक है, और आधा बजट पिक्चर का वो गाने में होगा, तो उसने बोला मैं रीशूट नॉट पॉसिबल. तो उसको बोला एडिट पे बैठो और उसका पूरा मिडरिफ कवर किया है.
Wow.
रोटोस्कोपी किया वो लोग.
Yeah.
वो बंसाली को पूछो, मुझे नहीं मालूम. लेकिन
But Baba, explain what rotoscoping is. It's an interesting concept.
So rotoscopy basically is, for just very simply, film has 24/25 frames per second.
Correct.
So अगर मैं ये फोन पे बात कर रहा हूँ और यहाँ पे एप्पल का लोगो दिख गया गलती से और कोई बोल रहा है ये एप्पल का लोगो हटाओ, so what you have to do is, and I'm moving now, with every movement each frame moves, so I have to mask that Apple ka logo with whatever's close by, right? Like
so you put Salman's face smiling.
And that's how a lot of those memes work, right? Like where you just put the face.
Yeah.
But when you're trying to remove it one frame at a time, so even if you have to do like 5 seconds of work, it's 25 into 5. Thakur, how much is that?
25 is 125.
So 125 frames have to be colored, painted put back into the sequence, and then rendered, which takes that much more time. And then imagine in that, if you have to get your shadows right, you have to get your lighting right, you have to get your color right, you have to get your temperature right, you have to get like mid-tones, skin tones, everything right. All of that has to be right in every single frame. So even if you fucked up one, you have to then redo the entire render sequence, right? So yes, rotoscope. And now imagine this for bigger things. Like it's
and Baba will show you an example of rotoscopy by putting my face on Kautuk's and Kautuk's. Take it away. Let's see if you execute as well as you explain.
Baba will actually do it by freezing the frame.
No. I won't do that. 1 second. I'll do this right now. Hold on. Please start your video. No, fuck, you're there only because this Kautuk started it late. But where? Wait, now I've moved. Oh shit. Now
अच्छा
I've
अभी
moved.
रहने दे अभी ये देख तूने मेरा इस पे ब्लिंक आने लग गया यार
Oh
देख
my God, 500 crore.
ये क्या है रोटोस्कोपी साले
क्या
तेरे
हुआ?
टीजर ही गलत है मेरे स्क्रीन पे
Just
देख
switch off your. By the
तूने
way,
कुछ टिल्ट डाउन किया क्या?
ये देख वापस आ गया
तूने टिल्ट डाउन किया कैमरा?
रोटोस्कोपी के जगह मेरे कैमरा के साथ कोलोनोस्कोपी किया
by the way, you are Nikita Sahota on this call.
That's
चल
okay.
इसको अभी मैं रोटोस्कोपी करा तो देख
क्या कर रहा तू?
Rotoscopy.
अभी चेंज हो गया देखा कैसे पहले निकिता लिखा था अभी मैंने उसको मिटा
Oh
के
no.
वीटी लिख दिया
Oh.
So, by the way, to talk just for a second about
One second,
rotoscopy.
why is my screen still
That's a great question.
तेरा क्या किया तूने? कुछ लाइट वाइट
तूने
चेंज
किया
There,
अरे हाँ,
it's
बंद हो
fixed,
गया।
it's fixed, it's fixed.
अरे
It's
यार
fixed. Oh fuck. It's
अबे
back.
Okay, tilt back little bit. Tilt back. There was no the camera. Or just move it the way
No,
you
just hit it. Just hit it once.
No,
That's how
no.
animation is done.
it basically needs to just
मेरे को
adjust.
एनिमेशन को फोन करना पड़ेगा भाई
Don't switch it off now. Arey, stop doing that and changing the. Hey, there's one light also that's thing. It'll fix itself. It fixed itself the last time.
This is
यही आदिपुरुष के टीजर के पहले बोला था अरे थोड़ा कच्चा लग रहा नहीं सर वो जब भी रिलीज होएगा ना मस्त रिलीज कर दो टीजर अभी वीएफएक्स वाले को पकड़ के
कुछ
मारेंगे
तो तूने किया था लेफ्ट राइट और ठीक हो गया था वो तो.
तूने क्या अगले बार है ना तू तेरा छोड़ मल्टीपल कट्स के बाद तुमको बता दूं ये जो फ्लिकर हो रहा था मेरा स्क्रीन कैसे फिक्स हुआ है गाइस बावाज आस्क्ड मी टू एग्जिट द फ्रेम not the zoom chat or anything exit I literally walked out of frame and when I came back it had stopped यार NY VFX वाला
so.
Arey, no, I just think it needed. I don't know. Fuck it. I'm not even going to try. Sorry.
now
Kautuk.
we have also kicked in people's OCD because हम लोग ने तो टेट्रिस खेल लिया अभी
नहीं सब करेक्ट है.
मेरे इस पे तो तू नीचे कौतुक
हाँ
ऊपर
वो सब ठीक है. तू
Anyhow.
adjust कर ले अपने आप.
हाँ
Okay, so very quickly, just where Bawa had left off about rotoscoping, just want to quickly tell you a couple of things about it, about its history. So, rotoscoping was like it basically came into being by this Polish American animator called Max Fleischer. Okay, and this guy basically up to that point, right? Animation used to be very like 2D and unnatural because the animators didn't know how to draw in all the components that go into actual motion, right? So what Max Fleischer realized was that if you took like a video, all right, or if you took lots of still images and you just traced over them, right, you would be able to mimic motion because you would be able to fill in all the gaps that happen when like I do this with my hand and stuff. So basically the first video that was done using rotoscoping was this video of Coco the clown, okay, where Max Fleischer got his brother to dress up like a clown and do some movements, which he then rotoscoped. And rotoscoped is basically drawing in every frame of that motion. So it revolutionized animation completely.
And so many movies or different techniques will do that, right? Because here you are sitting as layman at home saying क्या fuck all animation है, but लेकिन वो लेवल ऑफ फक कॉल जो अपने को लग रहा है वो करने के लिए भी कितना टाइम एफर्ट पैसा you know man hours by multiple like thousands of people sometimes and to think that at the beginning of like 1920s 30s when you had King Kong, right, there was this guy who did it, who used to be the king of stop motion at that time, Marcel Delgado or something his name was. He was the guy who did King Kong completely using stop motion, right? Which if you put yourself, I know it's impossible because we've seen all like heights of technology to put ourselves in that position, but just imagine in the 30s you're watching that, right? उसके 20-30 साल पहले तो तेरे को कैमरा निकला है, फिल्म कैमरा निकला है, और अभी सडनली तू ये स्टॉप मोशन एनिमेशन फीचर बना दिया. It's insane. Like one of the fathers of animation who brought about a lot of revolution was Douglas Trumbull. पता है देखो?
Douglas Trumbull, हाँ.
Yeah, he did 2001 Space Odyssey. उसमें that entire Jupiter sequence was a definitive page in animation history in the world. मतलब young aspiring filmmakers at that time have seen that shit and being like, bro,
ये
ये
तो
कर सकते हैं, ये कुछ अलग ही level पे. George Lucas coming together and
Star
making,
Wars.
yeah, because it
Star
was
Wars
he,
was miniatures plus roto plus what
plus everything. So
yeah.
he asked George Lucas asked Douglas Trumbull to work on this one, but he couldn't because he was working with Spielberg, I think, on Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
और इंडियाना जोन्स.
और तो उसने अपने बोला मेरे असिस्टेंट के साथ तू ये कर ले. असिस्टेंट और जॉर्ज लूकस साथ में आए. Then they made Star Wars and made ILM. What is the
Industrial Light and Magic?
Industrial Light and Magic.
Yeah.
Was formed by them.
Yeah.
Crazy shit. Throughout.
And that's the thing, right? Like the amazing thing is that because like with every, you know, like I was thinking about it from my own journey as a viewer, right? Like the things that are amazing ones just through progress start looking so dated and fake that you start wondering how did you buy it in the first place?
Yeah.
You know, like sometimes you look at some of the old movies and you're like,
like even Matrix has that problem sometimes. But I'm just saying,
bro. But Matrix is that one movie I honestly still
the first one.
The first one. Matrix, Terminator 2, Judgment Day.
Yeah.
No matter when I watch, I might watch it in 2085 if I'm miraculously alive at that age. I will still feel like, oh, bhai, aaj hi kisi ne bana. It's too fucking good, dude.
वो nostalgia plus I think James Cameron Terminator 2 Judgment.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about Matrix.
No. James Cameron Terminator 2 Judgment Day. Because Terminator is not about the VFX. That's the beauty of it. Like I'm just saying, like
of course, but
great narrative, like Titanic, for example. It's not about the. लेकिन क्या कचरे भर के VFX है उधर, right?
No, but Baba, the point you raise is a very
valid point because Steven Spielberg said the same thing also, right? Where you're blending
वो
animation.
Steven को मैंने ही बोला था.
You're blending animation. Lot of people are also doing like practical effects, not just like अरे इसको कंप्यूटर पे बैठ के इसके ऊपर एक लेयर डाल, ये फिल्टर डाल, फिर हो जाएगा, वैसा नहीं. You're doing miniature models, you're doing actual stuff and then using a little bit of animation on the side to enhance it. So that's what Spielberg did. कि तू थोड़ा उसको एक element of believability और realness दिखाएगा ना, they'll be on board with something else that is very clearly done through animation.
No, I'm saying the Steven Spielberg's oneers, right? They obviously are created with stitching things or having camera movements that are virtually impossible. And it's the reason why you like this stuff is narrative. See what's really important for it. Like I'll give you one of the best examples is and like I've read so much about this and heard so many people talk about it. Like if you just look at Pixar's films, okay, that 15-minute sequence in Up, it's not for children, that movie. Right, like that first 15 minutes in Up where he goes and meets Ellie and goes from love to death of Ellie. It's cinema. It's just beautiful. And Pixar, for example, spends so much time on craft and technique. They have one of the top. I was watching a video the other day that said that Pixar has one of the top 25, one of the fastest supercomputers, one of the top 25 fastest supercomputers in the world, because they're processing over 3 billion frames to make one movie, or some 21 billion frames or something to make one movie, right? But if you look at iRobot, which is nothing, it's nothing. It's a story about a robot with no human interaction. You cry.
iRobot, the Will Smith one?
No, sorry.
Wall-E.
My bad. I'm so sorry. It's a Wall-E is a film about, it's nothing. The whole film it's nothing. There's hardly any words in the film.
Dude, that's genuinely one of my top 10 all-time films because to the first half of Wall-E forget not having characters, doesn't even have dialogue.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It's the interaction between one robot and like
junk.
At most there is one junk and like insects. That's it. There's nothing. And then it's so rich in theme and potential.
But that's what. But guys, this goes in a different territory altogether, right? Because this is straight up all out animation.
Yeah, but it's,
what I mean is, I'm saying you look at VFX. VFX is very important to enhance story, or even I'm saying you look at Lord of the Rings, or you look at any of the Avengers, the Avengers movies are shot in studios. Like in studios with blue screen and green screen, and everything else is added in, and there are actors who are just performing, and it's full on. But and I know I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of the Marvel universe, but they at least have a story. They pull you in with story. In
sometimes.
Yeah, I agree. There are only three. In my opinion, there are only three.
Because abhi fatigue ho gaya. One is it worked, so then you sort of recreated a couple of times, and then you just do 10 years of pretty much the same stuff. I think they create blanket slates.
Yeah.
Like to me, and then like, चल वहां से निकाले इसमें इधर डाल बिल्डिंग का कलर चेंज कर ब्रिज के जगह पे दिखा रास्ता.
Like, for example, you just look at Ragnarok. You look at which is the one, Civil War? No, the one where they fight.
Winter Soldier and Civil War.
The one where they fight each other.
Civil
War, and then the first Avengers. I think truly, genuinely story with VFX that pulled me. First Iron Man, yeah.
No, but also, you know what? So what Marvel started doing at some point was they did a thing called, I was seeing a video on this. I think it's from Vox, or I forget from where exactly, but there's a beautiful video about this where they tell you about how Marvel started using VFX, and they started doing a thing called pre-visualization. So I think we've spoken about this before as well, but
it's called a previs.
Yeah, previs. So where they have put artists, VFX artists, storyboard artists to work years before they even have a director on board. So they have told them, मोटा मोटा देख एक बड़ा fight scene होने वाला है, ये characters है, ये दुनिया में अभी तुम लोग बनाओ, right? So those fuckers are just doing their own shit, right? Now you have a director who comes in, and he has to stitch his story, his scenes, and or like his work alongside the work that's already been done. Yeah. So because at the end of the day, a lot of these movies are they're not in the hands of a director. They're in the hands
same
of
thing.
the VFX department.
Taika had said the same thing, right? When he did Ragnarok, where he said, I came in with a certain set of expertise that I knew I could handle. Yeah. So all the dialogues, the comedy sequence, the actors interacting, I said, that's my expertise. I'll come with that. And he did a kick-ass job, because that's what elevated Thor from the other two Thors that you've seen before, right?
Yeah.
Tell me, how much do you remember of Thor Dark World? Or Thor, it was, yeah, exactly. I don't remember shit. But Ragnarok, I can tell you. Right?
Yeah, like, although Ragnarok was film. Ragnarok was cinema.
Super. But then you had also, right? You had that big VFX spectacle. But at the same time, you had like a good story going. Everything comes together to make it. But you know what? I'm thinking that what you said, Kautuk, about how at different points of time in your life, things that you've seen make a big impact, then only for you to realize 20 years later that shit, that was utter bullshit.
I was able to suspend my disbelief at that point.
At that point, but I can't. Yeah. But there's still some movies that stand the test of time, and I'm speaking specifically Indian movies. Of course, अपन ने Hollywood के बारे में तो बात किया, but Mr. India, for example.
Mr. India. Yeah. Fantastic.
Like, मैं अभी भी देखेगा ना, मेरे को मजा आएगा. And that's where our other point of, once you have a good story, a good narrative, a good arc, good acting going, as an audience member, you'll be like, हाँ चल ठीक है, मेरे को मालूम है वो जो हनुमान की मूर्ति जो उड़ रही है. That's probably done with like an invisible thread that is hanging.
Or yeah. Or green
screen. And then take out green screen किधर था ना?
Green rod.
89 में.
Dude, you know something? So like I was also, so just to bring up, say for example, Mr. India, right? Now that's a movie done at a time where there was no green screen CGI, or it was not affordable or doable in India, right? But it was done working under those constraints to make the most believable product.
Yeah.
Now, what's interesting is you can also draw a parallel to Lord of the Rings. Okay. The year is whatever, 1999, 2000, something like that. And Peter Jackson's working on Lord of the Rings. Now, he realized that there were these huge like set pieces that he needed, but you can't CGI that shit at that point in time. So he has used miniature models.
Yeah.
Right. Of varying scales. And he's used them to great effect. Now, what's interesting about all of this is that if you know the past, right, all past techniques that were done to create believability at a time when there was like nothing available.
Improbable
believability. When you know those techniques, it helps you because see, everything can be done today using a computer. Everything, right? But knowing those techniques will help you when you have stuff like constraints.
Yeah.
Knowing that stuff will also help you solve the problem. Help you solve the problem when the computer doesn't do what it needs you, what you need it to do. Like there are so many times where you're working on an online machine, or you're working on a grade machine, or you're working on animation, or you're working on something, and you just have to resort to the basics. And you're like, ye nahi hoga, isko shoot karna padega.
Yeah.
Right. And you're like one of the toughest things to do is liquid animation. Right. Like, and I'm only specifically talking about from an advertising sense. Because
what is liquid animation?
Water, chocolate, paint, milk, anything that's pouring and stuff like that, right? Like stirring, all of this, right? It's very difficult to do for 3 reasons. Lighting reacts very differently based on the viscosity of whatever it is that you're doing. The other thing is the viscosity. So the texture depends. Now, if you're pouring milk, the first rim of milk is thinner than the rest of it, but you have to show thicker milk. So there's like a lot of like all of this. So if you know how to shoot it, you don't have to necessarily worry about what it's going to do. So you can shoot it and then better it with VFX.
Yeah.
And create that composite. But if you have the knowledge of, I can't make milk. Even if I'm doing it purely on the computer, I can't be making milk on the computer with nodes. I need to make paint because that will show the viscosity that I need for paint to react the way I need it to react. That's just from experience, right? And most of them have this knowledge now because an assistant sees the scene.
And then are you impressed when paint reacts the way you want it to react, but bhai won't? Hey, paint ये कर. Paint. अरे भाई सुनो, भाई चलेगा. But like, now we're looking like you can pretty much map, right? तेरा stop motion हो गया, तेरा miniature models हो गया, तेरा practical effects हो गया, तो Jurassic Park पकड़, you came to Matrix.
Jurassic Park 1 looks better than any other Jurassic Park that has come
right now. Yeah, and that's the point of great story, right? Great acting, great narrative. Because I watched the latest Jurassic Park, whatever. I can't even tell.
You know why?
From what? Okay.
Because in the main Jurassic Park, you don't see the dinosaurs for a long time. So the animation is the fear is driven by points of view, just like reactions, actions, etc.
So it's like that famous Jaws story, right?
Jaws story. You don't see the shark for 75% of the film.
Bro, so that's what he said. I was watching a making of, and it's the brilliance of the director at that point. Right? He's like 1970s, Jaws. 70s,
yeah,
75,
I think.
Right? कुछ 50 साल हो गए, ठीक है? मैं निकिता को दिखा रहा था कुछ 3-4 महीने पहले. उसने देखा और बोल रही है, it's not as good as I thought.
What?
It's hyped too much. I said, yeah, because you're watching it in 2021. This movie was made in 1975.
Yeah. Dude, that line. We're going to need a bigger boat.
Bigger boat.
One of my favorite lines about it.
No. Also, it's not the shark. It's a shark.
A shark.
Spielberg spoke about. He said, there was times when you can't he had already exceeded the budget. जो बजट दिया था, क्योंकि ये सब यंग फिल्म मेकर ना, तभी सब में खुजली है कि मैं भी अभी कुछ करके दिखाऊंगा. तो पैसा खत्म हो रहा है तो क्या करूं? इनजेन्युइटी. उसने बोला फक इट, दिखाते नहीं है शार्क को, लेकिन किसी को मालूम पड़ना चाहिए ना कि शार्क है, नहीं तो ऑडियंस क्या सोचेगी कि किससे भाग रहे हैं. तो दैट सीन में लोग फेंकते हैं और रोप जाके अटक जाते हैं. यू कैन जस्ट सी बैरल्स. सो सडनली यू सी अ बोट गोइंग, बोट के पीछे एक रस्सी सस्पेंडेड है और एक बैरल खींचते हुए जा रहा है. And you as the viewer are fully in because you're like, नहीं वो तो shark है. Shark नहीं था उधर असली. Obviously असली नहीं, but it was not there only. You're looking at barrels in water being pulled by a rope attached to a ship, to a boat, and that element of fright is still there.
Yeah. It's just how he set it up. For 3/4 of the movie, he's not shown you the shark. It's that classic horror trope. Your mind can make you fear more than what you actually will fear, right? So
then you had these practical effects. You had what Matrix did, where you stitch up a bunch of photos taken in a circle.
120 cameras. 120 cameras.
To get that
bullet time.
That became a thing. Then you had Peter Jackson, and he's like, "Chal, idhar aa, Andy Serkis, ये सूट पहन."
Bro, Andy Serkis का बात
करेगा. हाँ, bro, that guy saying, तू डगलस ट्रम्बॉल की बात कर रहा है, तू मार्सेल डेलगाडो की बात कर रहा है, या अभी जितने भी VFX वाला रेड चिलीज, बट एंडी सर्किस ने जो किया है.
एंडी सर्किस सब बन जाता है, ब्रो. वो उसको VFX चाहिए ही नहीं, उसको मेकअप ही चाहिए.
No, the crazy thing is, so there was one Because, by the way, because of Rings of Power, I went down this full Lord of the Rings rabbit hole.
By the way, guys, please watch and put some likes and comments on our Rings of Power review series. Huh?
Yeah. So I stumbled upon one interview where Andy Serkis was talking about how he auditioned for the role of Gollum. Okay. Now, Andy Serkis was at that point in time. It's really, by the way, very hard to realize that Andy Serkis was not always VFX guy.
Yeah.
Right? Like at
कि
one
उसका
point,
वो एक टाइम पे ड्रामा एक भाई का रोल किया उसने.
bro, he was an actor. He was just an actor. So when this role came to him, he's like, क्या पता नहीं दिखता हूँ audition करता हूँ, right? And he did it, right? And he found this like voice, Gollum, all of that. He figured it out. Okay, he nailed that audition so hard. Okay, that when Peter Jackson started filming, he's like, dude, I need that guy on set. Okay, like I don't want him. So he was offered that role as a voice actor, but जो उसने performance दिया उधर, ठीक है, he committed 100%. So he was on the desk, crouched like that, Gollum कर रहा है, okay, and he looks at the casting director shocked. Okay. So Peter Jackson has seen this footage, and when he's filming, he's like, fuck, why don't I just get this guy? Okay, put him in that leotard.
And motion capture.
The
Straight.
fuck out of this guy. Okay.
And thus new form of animation is born.
New
VFX.
form of animation, and forevermore, Andy Serkis now only wears leotard.
वही है. Bro, Planet of the Apes में भी है ना वो.
Yeah, वो सब जगह है.
Bro, Tintin, he was there. He's just mocap guy now. Like,
Yeah.
अगर तेरे को किसी को leotard में capture करना performance, it is Andy Serkis.
और ये हो गया. फिर फाइनली सब खत्म होने के बाद जेम्स कैमरन ने बोला कि अभी तक मेरे को वो नहीं मिला है जो मुझे चाहिए VFX और एनिमेशन के लोगों से. यू गाइस नीड टू अप योर गेम. लेकिन सर हम आदमी को गॉलम बना रहे हैं, हम इसको ये कर नहीं, मुझे ही कुछ करना पड़ेगा. वी स्पोक अबाउट दिस ड्यूरिंग ब्रह्मास्त्र वाला एपिसोड आल्सो, बिकॉज़ नाउ ही इज गॉन अहेड एंड ही इज अनाउंस Avatar 2 and 3.
Yeah.
और क्या करने वाला है मेरे को मालूम नहीं ब्रो.
अरे उसको 10 साल लगे कैमरा बनाने को, स्क्रिप्ट लिखने के बाद.
बना नहीं, 10 साल लगा बाबा ऑलरेडी. तो फिर अभी बना दिया.
इसके बीच में वो एक एक्सप्लोरर मिशन कर रहा है, बॉटम ऑफ मारियाना ट्रेंच जा रहा है.
By the way, did you hear his logic for that? It was damn funny. So they asked him, sir, why you did this submarine mission to the Mariana Trench? Like, why didn't you just finish the fucking movie? So he's like, see, I can do movie whenever, but I have an age limit on going to Mariana Trench.
I thought he said मेरे को ना शांति में थोड़ा लिखना था, मेरे को डिस्टर्बेंस नहीं चाहिए था, मैं एक्चुअली डिस्ट्रैक्ट हो जाता हूँ इंस्टाग्राम से, इसलिए मैं मैरियाना ट्रेंच गया. उधर नहीं आ रहा नेटवर्क. सर आप जियो यूज करो, आपको आ जाएगा.
Bro.
No, but by the way, so I also want to talk about this one particular movie. Okay, have you guys seen this movie called Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Yes.
Right. So ठाकुर, तूने देखा है Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
बहुत पहले bro.
है ना?
I won't remember scenes.
But you've seen it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a very interesting story about this movie. Okay, Who Framed Roger Rabbit? And I'll just give you a little bit of background about this movie. This movie was a 1988 movie. Okay, so this was one of the first few movies ever to blend live action with cartoon characters. So essentially, what Main Prem Ki Diwani Hu eventually
Space Jam fans
Space Jam
in the comments blew my mind.
Space Jam. Yeah, so what Space Jam and the Barjatias eventually did, this film pioneered. Okay, now so it's an interesting movie where there was a actor called Bob Hoskins who plays a detective. Okay, and he's solving this crime that takes place across the toon world. So he's interacting with all these cartoons, various cartoons, right? So now what was interesting about this movie, okay, Thakur, and this is coming to it from an actor's point of view. Okay, and
I didn't audition for it, guys, before you all say.
So, and it tells you everything that you need to know about how difficult it is for actors to act in VFX heavy movies, right? So basically when you have these VFX movies, the actors have to pretend as if the world is real, the characters are real, and there's nothing around them except for like, yeah. So now Bob Hoskins was like a hardcore, like,
Stage
got
method.
into method and stuff like that, right? So to prepare for this role, he starts observing his daughter, because his daughter has an imaginary friend. So he would observe how she used to interact with this imaginary friend of hers. Right?
Wow.
And he suddenly starts realizing that to do this film, he has to start hallucinating. Right? And
Where does LSD?
no. So he trains his mind to start imagining the characters. Okay. So when he's on set and when the director yells action, this guy is hallucinating the characters. Okay. And he's interacting with them, talking to them, staring at nothing in space and imagining that there's a whole thing. Right. Now, initially, when the movie started filming, he was in control of this process. But this movie took 8 months to film.
He started actually hallucinating.
So 8 months after filming, right? This guy has completely lost his mind.
Wow.
So in the real world, he's seeing rabbits and weasels. Bro, actually, Who Framed Roger Rabbit ho raha tha after the film got finished. So it was insane. Now the question I wanted to ask Thakur was, Thakur, when you give auditions, right? Again, now you're just in one room with just a script and someone's yelling you a cue, right? How much does your mind?
No, so that used to happen earlier. Earlier now, when we used to do auditions, you're just staring at a camera.
Yeah.
तो कोई ऐसे रैंडम कास्टिंग डायरेक्टर का असिस्टेंट है, बोलता है हाँ चलो एक्शन, वो तो क्यूज भी नहीं दे रहा है, तो मैं दिमाग में क्यूज भी सोच रहा हूँ कि अरे वरुण कैसे हो, मैं ठीक हूँ, तुम कैसे हो, तो मैं अपने आप को सवाल भी पूछ रहा हूँ, मैं एक्टिंग भी कर रहा हूँ और मैं कैमरा में देख रहा हूँ जिसके पीछे राजू खड़े रहे कि गुजार है, ठीक है
फोन पे और कास्टिंग डायरेक्टर ने कुछ और ही ब्रीफ दिया है, डायरेक्टर कुछ और ही ब्रीफ
इसने मेरे को ब्रीफ दिया ही नहीं, उसने मेरे को नेम नंबर हाइट पूछा, बोला हाँ करो, मैं एक बटन दबाया, वो खुजली कर रहा है, होगा, मतलब कैसा था, अच्छा, और मैं घर ये होता था. अभी they have a person who will do the lines with you, but I've not yet tested or acted in an animated or
no, but
VFX
like even in these auditions, right, like you just have a cue, right, and you have to imagine everything around it, behind it, like there's no set, there's just a room with a camera in it, right? Like how difficult is that process?
It is very, I mean, I don't know when that's what I'm thinking, that if ever in the future ऐसे suddenly मेरे को VFX heavy कुछ मूवी में मिल गया, मैं तो थोड़ा मतलब एक मिनट राजू को बोला कैमरा रखो इधर, नहीं तो मेरे से हो नहीं पाएगा. बट आई डन ना, मैं एक ऐड किया था फरहान अख्तर के साथ, वो वाज अ डिओड्रेंट ऐड 5-7 साल पहला, तो वी हैड शॉट इन यशराज. दैट वाज माय फर्स्ट टाइम बीइंग ऑन a proper production of a VFX situation. Like in Question Mark, my first movie, there is VFX.
Oh, there
girl getting dragged, camera being sentient, and थोड़ा filter में ये उसका लड़की gets possessed तो exorcist में कैसा उल्टे हो जाते हैं, वो सब थोड़ा बहुत VFX था उसमें. But this ad में हम लोग शूट कर रहे थे, literally एक लाइन है जिधर ऐसे कुछ यूरोपियन टाइप का घर है और बाकी पूरा ब्लू है, पूरा ब्लू. फाइनली जब मैंने एड देखा तो ये कोई और ही कंट्री में होगा, वीरा देसाई में था स्ट्रेट, लेकिन अच्छा लगा. नहीं तो कुछ इसमें मेरा इंटरेक्शन नहीं था इतना with the surrounding.
What was your brief? What do you think of this blue screen? What did they tell you?
Nothing.
They were just like the line.
No, it's mostly in this was mostly in the background, right? So the interaction of Farhan will be with other people, etc.
So Farhan VFX नहीं था, चूते Farhan आया था.
I know. The interaction of Farhan.
यहाँ imagine करो कि फरहान अख्तर है. Okay, dad. नहीं, तुम्हें आवाज करने की जरूरत नहीं. Okay, dad.
But bro, that happens so many times, where like it's so obvious in so many ads where they'll have like 2 stars or whatever. Like there was this one ad with
अबे जुबा केसरी में ऐसा करे तीनों अलग डायरेक्शन में देखे.
Yeah, eyeliner and all.
तो जिसमें ये थर्ड वाले में अक्षय आ जाता है ना, तो उसके पहले तो शाहरुख और अजय आके वो तो ऑडियंस को देख के कर रहे हैं, फिर अक्षय न्यू एंट्रेंस है, who should be looking at Ajay and Shahrukh, but he's looking here. It's in.
No, and there was that VFX shot where the sword cuts the packet of pan masala. कटाना से पैकेट खोलूंगा. उसका भी रोटोस्कोपिंग हुआ रहेगा.
सोचना एक्चुअल कोई हार्डकोर वीएफएक्स कंपनी आ रही है रोटोस्कोपी करने. सर आपने इसके पहले किस पे काम किया था? मैं रॉबर्ट डाउनी जूनियर के साथ काम करता इसके पहले और हमने उसका आयरन मैन का सूट बनाया था. अच्छा अभी ये पैन मसाले को आप जरा काटेंगे क्या कटाना से? What are you saying, man? Why do you need pan masala to be cut by a katana? Just look at me. Okay, I get it now.
No, but this is also
Abesh.
true, na? Ki, at the end of every Marvel movie, everyone waits now for the post-credit scene, right? और एक ऐसा block of India comes where all the VFX artists.
No, but that's really cool. As a country, we have
Yeah.
fully like
So the
taken over the VFX market, like we did with call centers. Back
But
in the day.
that's how
अभी पूरा VFX भी अपने पास ही हो रहा है.
that's how we're doing it, right? Like
Through call centers.
the execution and
How do I do this? Sir, press F5 and then press enter 3 times.
dial 1 for rotoscopy, dial 2 for digital composition.
so yeah, I mean we've been doing that, right? Like we are the studios of the world in terms of like an animation director
The
comes
sweatshops.
sort of like so,
No, but Baba, the question I wanted to ask was this, right? Ki, like every Marvel movie, you will see, Raju Purohit, you will see like there's thousands of names, right?
Guys, if you find a screenshot, just go through all the credits, and if you find a Raju Purohit,
No, so the question is, the point I'm getting at is, if all the animation for these big budget blockbuster Hollywood movies is being done in our backyard, why aren't our VFX as good? And as a advertising,
no, because they are paying that much more money, no.
it's not just money. So advertising budgets are also pretty good. Like advertising budgets are genuinely good when it comes to VFX and stuff like that. Because we can't afford to fool around because it's brand work and stuff. So no, I think that what ends up happening is that there is a lot of they get a lot of time. Two, there's a lot of planning that goes into the thing before, right? So it's not like अच्छा ठीक है तू एक काम कर वायरफ्रेम बना दे, वायरफ्रेम बना के 2-3 टेक्सचरिंग करके भेज दे मेरे को, मैं अप्रूवल कर देगा. इट्स नॉट लाइक दैट. देयर इज लिटरली तू सिर्फ ये मूवमेंट पे 4 दिन काम कर रहा है. लाइक तू सिर्फ ये मूवमेंट. एंड द थिंग इज इन अ लॉट ऑफ केसेस because these are extremely secret things, right? Like characters and stuff that you're building are secret in that sense. So like as you go up the chain, project managers and stuff like that don't know what they're building because they've only been given parts of the piece in certain cases to build, and then it gets composited all together somewhere else. So as you go up the chain, it then gets composited to create whatever. So you don't know exactly what it is that you're working on. तेरे को एक 4 सेकंड का शॉट देगा जिसमें खड्डा फट रहा है, वो 4 सेकंड का शॉट कर तू बैठ के. So I'm saying you are.
So the guys who did this VFX don't know what it was actually being used for. अरे कोई नया चश्मे का ऐड होगा.
Can't try, sir.
No, I think by the way, I don't think that VFX was done in India. I think that katana VFX was not done in India. I have a feeling.
Give it away, the katana.
No. There's a. I don't know. I just feel it. I think if you look it up, I think you'll see that it's not done in India. I can check it up, but anyway, the point I was trying to make is that there's. But when it comes to advertising, there's a lot of hurry, and there's a lot of stuff that needs to get done. The ads get planned really. You don't get 6 months to make an ad, even though it's 30 seconds. You need 6 months. You don't get 6 months to make an ad. And so that's really where you end up losing a lot of time and a lot of quality, etc., etc. So when it comes to feature films, when it comes to feature films, you are not, again, you're trying to amortize the entire game, right? So you will ask one guy to ek pura, whatever, in this case, monkey with gorilla with sword bana, pura. तो और तेरे पास 1 महीना है. तो वो अभी बोलेगा shit, most importantly I need to get the structure and the movement of this monkey, right? वो texturing, hair, etc. मैं बाद में कर लेगा. In the meantime they're like, bro 1 महीना हो गया, दे दे जो भी शेप में. अरे लेकिन सर उसका बाल पे एनिमेशन बाकी है. नहीं वो हम लोग फैन blow करेगा तो लगेगा वो ऐसा कुछ तो करके they sort of think. Now I don't know because I've never worked on the VFX on a feature film VFX, but I've just heard these stories from people. Like I know people who work on these features and stuff like that. But you look at Ravan, that took so long. You look at Brahmastra, that took 10 years. It took 10 years to make Brahmastra.
Dude, Bahubali had some 45 different
Production houses
that were working on the VFX.
Yeah.
जैसे तू बोला ना ये इतना पार्ट एक कर रहा है क्योंकि तूने एक को दिया है प्राइम फोकस सब कर दे पागल हो जाएंगे तो तेरे को ऐसे ही 50-60 अलग-अलग चीजें वो
and therefore you also the most important thing you also need is vision, right? Like you need the vision at the start that this is what I want to make and this is what it's going to look like. So your renders and your first drawings and stuff like that need to evolve so much.
And it's crazy that because of VFX, special effects, whatever practical effects, it's come to a stage where now no story, no idea is too far-fetched.
Yeah.
Right? Like something you tell somebody now, pretty much any person, not any person, obviously those who can afford to make it will say, yeah, it's possible. Like who would have thought Game of Thrones would be what it is, right?
Yeah.
Abhi ka dekh raha hai, but it started in 2012.
Bro, in fact,
and you remember we used to watch those. There used to be a montage
making
done
of.
by the making of. Not exactly the VFX shots.
And the
so they will show you the actual shot, and in the same split frame, they'll show you how it was shot.
Yeah. And how it came together.
Exactly how it all came together. कितने layer था, कैसे composite किया, फिर क्या किया, color वाला ये कैसे करके finally तू क्या देख रहा है?
Yeah.
Right? वो जब भी जितने भी wall के sequence है, मेरे को हंसी आ रही थी, bro. जो तू देखता है, देखो ये 1000 फुट का iced wall दिख रहा है, stretching end to end. उधर से घोड़े निकल रहे हैं. Actual shoot में एक ऐसा छोटा सा green है उसमें. 3 लोग हॉर्स पे आके टाइम पास कर रहे हैं.
हॉर्स पे आके टाइम पास कर रहे हैं.
और अब इसके पीछे वॉल है.
No, but also, talking about what Bhava said about the vision of the particular project, right? So to bring a fully different contrast, okay, a fully different contrast to the CGI VFX conversation, okay, is the recent blockbuster movie Top Gun Maverick by Tom Cruise.
Wow.
Okay. Now there was VFX used in that movie, but a lot of it was practical
effects, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, sure.
It was because it was one crazy dude's idea, one crazy dude's mission, literally, to film this and do it his way, right? To make a spectacle. Tom Cruise just was like, I want the audience to feel.
I want what Tony Scott did. It's as simple as that. I want the first one.
And the thing is, so Baba, what was interesting about this is they put all those actors, all his crewmates, they put them
actual fighters. Yeah.
They put them through training.
Proper, pilot training.
Yeah.
उसका भी पूरा making of shotgun बोल रहा हूँ, of Top Gun है on YouTube. In that, all these guys, Miles Teller, the girl I forget her name, the other guy, Tom Cruise, they're all in actual fighter jets. So and he's going, कोई सीने कैसे zoom करके flight उसका fighter jet बाजू से आता है, he does this. And it's a tight frame on, bro, they've actually shot it. With an actual fighter jet going like that next. It's insane.
Yeah. And the other thing is they had to train the actors to not only maneuver the plane, but to do their own makeup, to use the camera. So they should actually be getting directing credits and makeup the other credits as well. Because ye sab hua hai. Now what it does is, very interestingly and very literally the most common sense, obviously, when you see an actor actually in a plane do the thing, actually it feels so much more real than whatever 100%. How much ever imaginative, creative and amazing an actor is, in a fake green screen environment you're not going to get the same reactions. So it's such a visceral movie, man. It's such
there was a time when Marvel was paying Robert Downey Jr. some like absurd 20, 30, 40, 50 million dollars to come stand and stare at the screen. Right? Because as shoot pe, today we are doing all your shots with Jarvis. Okay. It just comes, uske muh pe green, red light hota hai. And कुछ जोक बोलता फिर वो घर जाता है. Hey, I'm tired today. What happened? Robert just stared at the screen and spoke all day.
By the way, also just actually to bring one example of VFX, but actors pulling it off remarkably well, like extremely well. The movie Gravity.
Yeah. Oh wow.
I
I've realized. I think any of the movies that are able to show space correctly, right, or at least as correctly as we can
Even Apollo
possibly,
13.
bro. That 2001 Space Odyssey,
Yeah.
Gravity, Interstellar. So Neil
Yeah.
deGrasse Tyson actually
zero.
came out and said that Shahrukh wala zero. Neil deGrasse Tyson came out and said that basis how they've shown the VFX etc. in Interstellar, he said in terms of physics of all of it is correct.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That takes something, man. Like you're talking about a fictitious
You take
planet
a
which
look at.
has gravity 130 times the gravity of Earth. How would the waves in that specific planet be? And he's like, it's done and shown as accurately as can possibly be.
Yeah, yeah, because they not only that, they also like just you see the making of Interstellar. It's fucking crazy of how even there he tries to shoot, or even Inception, he tries to shoot characters within the environment as much as he can, right?
Can yeah,
In
yeah.
camera. So there is VFX, but a lot of it is in camera, which is what makes it
Bro,
so.
that entire sequence where the free fall is happening, when Joseph Gordon-Levitt has to take everybody's, like he's having a fight
In
with those
zero
agents
gravity.
who come in before he has to take their body in zero gravity, and the whole thing keeps moving like that. That was actually a
Eh,
set build. So you had the corridor built, and it kept moving with the actors inside.
Yeah,
That's insane, dude, to be able to
yeah,
just even visualize that and make it happen, and that too
yeah.
with practical effects.
No,
So
and anything by Inari too, like even if you just look at like Revenant or even his most recent film that he's just put out, forgot the name. If you I mean, the camera work in it is just it's too good, dude. It's really outstanding to a point where what's the new movie? Jeez, give me a second. अरे यार अच्छा तुम लोग बात करो मैं ढूंढ रहा हूँ किधर है यार Bardo. I'm sorry, that's the name of the movie. Bardo. If you just look at what Bardo does, in that the whole film is just like wide angle shots, dude. Whole film. और क्या amazing चीज बनाया है, bro. At least that's what I think because I've only seen the teaser. I've not seen more than that. Bro, anything that Inaritu does, and it's like Birdman is loaded with VFX, but you don't see any of it.
Yeah.
And
To
that's
show it as a one take,
yeah.
that also
In fact-
takes a lot of. You know,
in fact,
nowadays what they've also started, which I saw, I think the next leap in VFX is to fight that problem of अरे यार इधर ब्लू स्क्रीन है, तो मुझे बोल रहा है इमेजिन कर कि वहां पर ऐसा हो रहा है, मैं कैसे करूं यार, मैं भी मेरा भी लिमिट है, मेरी शक्ल भी दिखेगा. So now they started making these massive renders with
yes,
big screens
yes.
around. So say for example, the scene is that you are in
Mandalorian.
Mandalorian, exactly. Right? If you're in a massive desert and there's an army of XYZ coming towards you, they've managed to shoot that, put it on big screens with a little foregrounding of the desert in which you're standing, and then when you look, you're actually staring at screens. But when you
Yeah.
see it on film, it gives you the sense of you're actually there,
Bro,
and you can react to that.
like just like to meaning to just experience a little bit of what it must be like. So when you two had come to India, okay, their set design of the stage, they had done the exact same thing. It was like a 40-foot screen.
It's called something, na 360 something. It's called.
Yeah,
no?
yeah. It's the same technology, by the way. So it was like a 40-foot high thing and about 120 feet across or something like that. It was huge, right? And when you see crisp, clear images on that screen, oh my fucking god, it takes you to a different place because it's
Yeah, for sure.
so larger than life and so crisp. It's spectacular. So I can imagine what it must be like.
Acha, any other VFX stuff that we missed out talking about? I think we've at
Lots.
least
Lots.
There is lots we missed out on, but by
And yeah, just a
Shimbo
couple-
won't let me work.
Yeah, just a couple of things in general. Like I feel few things we should just address. I mean, we should have addressed them with more depth, but it's still worth mentioning is the fact that the work that VFX artists put in is phenomenal. It's extremely difficult. And the irony is that the best work is the stuff that's least noticed.
Yes, that's the whole
Yeah.
point of it. Yeah.
So, you know, if they've done their job right, you should not even know that they've done it. So that's the irony and the difficulty of being a
Dude,
VFX artist.
Can we talk about everything everywhere all at once?
Oh, beautiful.
You want to talk about everything everywhere all at
Like,
That's a beautiful film.
right? Not just that. If you hear the directors talk about like how they did CG on it, a lot of VFX work, not just practical thing. They had a shoestring budget and they still pulled it off.
So
Like,
25 million or something like that.
Yeah, and they've shot Michelle Yeoh in different environments as she's sort of going. So they've also put LED screens with the visuals on it, so it looks like she's going back and stuff. It's crazy. So it's on YouTube.
Dude,
Also, if you get a chance, watch the movie, please.
Yeah, it's one of the best movies to come out recently.
Yeah,
sure.
and by the way, so sorry to bring back Lord of the Rings, but I think this illustrates a lot of what we're talking about. Like in the sense that when you're trying to, so one of the things that they were trying to achieve was Gandalf was supposed to be a very tall
guy. How they shot also.
And Elijah Wood is a very short hobbit. Now, both of them were not extremes of heights. Like Elijah was slightly shorter than normal, and Ian McKellen was slightly taller than average. So how do you make that thing happen? Now, it was all about perspective.
Yeah.
Right? And how objects appear closer and further, and how that changes your scale. So what they did is, to show them at the same table, they created a rig where they've got one half of the table on one end and the other half of the table on another end. And it was just done. All of this created carpenters. Yeah, but the point was that carpenters were put to work. Rig people were brought in, camera people were brought in, set designers were brought. All of this was done for a shot that was there in the movie.
Because you're going to see both of them in the same frame.
Yeah. But it was hardly there in that movie. The point of it is that the point of saying all of this is that Peter Jackson decided that even if it's there for 30 seconds, I'll put in the effort to do it.
Yeah.
Right. And that's the kind of care, dedication, and dare I say it, madness it takes to pull off spectacle.
I'm saying you look at that. Sure. You look at Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, where Michel Gondry's done some work. It's some of the best perspective work you'll ever see. Eternal Sunshine.
We'll talk about that. Like, one of my favorite movies growing up. Appu Raja, you remember? Appu Raja, Kamal Hassan.
Yeah.
Right? In that, one is regular size Kamal Hassan, and then other is a dwarf Kamal Hassan. How has he done that?
Yeah.
I know he is sitting on knees and doing a lot of those, but to be able to pull that off in the same frame in the time that it did was damn good.
Yeah.
Special shout out to Chota Chetan also.
Arey bro, how they did double roles also, in those times. I'm saying like man, I'm not about Joe, I'm talking about like Chalbaz and movies like that.
And the also another thing worth mentioning is that the VFX artists, right? Even for something like, for example, for the Adipurush film, right? The whole world has come and made memes about it, right? But the VFX artists, they have still spent so long.
That's what I said earlier. I'm like, you can just sit here and trash it and say it's fuck all. But even to get that level of what we right now in 2022 think is fuck all must have taken thousands of people sitting countless hours a day, to make it happen.
And unfortunately, that's the other irony of their profession, which is that when it's bad, everyone else is overlooked, and it's straight the blame is put on VFX wale.
Yeah, correct.
So we don't know all the other constraints that they work under. And
so shout out to all VFX wala.
Yeah.
Not just that other.
Not just NY.
Not just NY VFX wala, but all the guys who work in animation, VFX, and other such. It takes a lot of work, and best of luck. But yeah, we're just sitting here and doing bunkers. So please excuse us.
Okay, quick reminders before he ends. Varun is in Europe all of next month. So please go. Kautuk and me are in Kurla and Pune and possibly in the northest country of North America.
So all our fans in the Arctic, just please keep a lookout.
And most importantly, next week we will be doing the 150th live episode on this very channel in the evening, and there is a major announcement that we have.
Don't hype it.
No,
much.
no, means it's not Adipurush. I'm saying it's actually a great announcement. And I think that it's important for us to hype it because otherwise I think that we will chicken out and not do it. So let's just do it.
Oh, I completely forgot about that.
Yeah. And by the way, we're
You
going
see
to
what
get,
I mean?
we're
You see what I
going to
mean?
get a fully CGI Aadar Malik.
Yeah.
What?
Either, yeah,
We'll try to practical.
it's
some
extremely
sort of-
realistic looking.
No, we're getting
But-
Jim.
Also, guys, one more thing
We're
that
getting
we don't mention quite often is that please like, share, and subscribe and leave a comment.
Yeah.
We I just realized we never say it, but doesn't mean we don't want you to. We want you to. So
Correct.
please like, share, subscribe.
And
on-
please leave what you thought was the worst moment of CGI that you have seen in the comment
Yeah.
section below.
Yeah, in any, not just Adipurush, but in any of the movies that you've seen, it'll be fun. Maybe we missed out talking about some, so if you guys put it in, we'll get
do
to
you
watch
remember,
it and have some.
remember the
laughs.
Rock from Scorpion King when he came out looking
Or the
like
Rock
a PS.
from Mummy. Dude, that Mummy and all.
Same one.
Hmm.
Dude, it was like one PS2 character.
Emote.
That's first one.
Chalo, sahi hai. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you again next week. Till then, tata, bye bye, good night, take care, salamesh. See you at the 150th episode live stream. Woohoo!
Where there is an announcement, Varun Thakur, please don't forget.
May or may not happen.
No.
पोस्ट में कर देंगे.
Rotoscopy में कर देंगे.
Post में देख लेंगे.
Post में देख लेंगे. The very fact that people say that is testament.
Yeah. Okay, bye.